Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. Today is Monday, March 18th. Hope you're having a great start off to the spring and was able to enjoy some of this great weather we've had the last few days. It really does feel like spring, and baseball's right around the corner. I hope you and your families are doing well. I wanted to give you some updates on really what's going on with the department lately. I know it's been a few months since we've spoken, and so let's jump right into kind of where we always do with academies and staffing and promotions and those kinds of things. The 98th Academy graduated on March 1st. 27 graduates back out there in the ranks now, and so we're happy to have them join us. The 99th Academy will start on their first day in the Academy will be April 2nd. We've got 33 recruits signed up for that Academy and ready to go, and I believe their graduation will be around August 1st. And so again, 33 starting out in that academy. As far as the new test, as you know, personnel has already conducted the application recruitment process for new hires. We had just over 1,500 applications. There was about 1,250 applications that met the minimum requirements and were eligible to move forward. And so they'll be sending out notices for the written exam. Written exam is supposed to take place sometime next month. We would expect probably somewhere around 1,000 people or so will take that exam. That list will be for the 100th Academy and the 101st. So we're finally at triple digits on that. We've come quite a ways. I know we've pushed out a lot of academies, and I think we're really seeing it in the staffing. Speaking of staffing, we've had a lot of promotions since I spoke with you last. We've had several battalion chiefs, or a couple of battalion chiefs, several captains, and a big batch of engineers out there as well. We do have a healthy captains list right now. We've got captains openings, as you know, but right now, since we've exhausted our engineer list, there's really no way to make those promotions to the captain until we get a fresh list of the engineers one. We do have that application process going on right now. We expect the written exam for the engineers will be sometime in April, and our goal is to have a promulgated list by the middle of May, so we should be able to make some engineers and some captains. And I think hopefully you've really seen a difference out there in the staffing. I know the mandatory callbacks have really been reduced significantly in all ranks, and especially at the firefighter ranks, and so I hope you're certainly seeing that relief and not being required to be at work so much. You know, I get asked as we've been faced with some budget challenges, we know, and I know that we're saturated in firefighters out there right now, of why we're even kind of maybe moving forward with the 99th Academy. And I want to let you know what our planning and thought process is on that. Like I mentioned, this academy will not get out until August. And in the meantime there, we hope to promote many firefighters to engineers, which will take up a good chunk. Also, we plan to have paramedic class 9, which will be about 18 firefighters pulled out of the ranks for that class as well. And so we know that we're going to have some of those vacancies. And let's not forget Station 52 is opening up real soon. And so that's going to be another 6 firefighter positions required. So we're looking at those numbers, and that's really why we move forward with the 99th Academy. We think those numbers will balance out pretty even. And again, I know that we really look like we're full staffed at the firefighter rank, and as soon as we get some more of those promotions, I think we're going to be in a great place heading into peak fire season, be able to support all the strike team deployments, IMTs, and really be a big partner in the mutual aid system this coming summer. So let's talk about our apparatus fleet. We know we just got USAR 41 in service in February. That's the brand new rig. And so if you haven't had a chance to really see that and open up all the compartment doors, really, I encourage you to take a look at that. We've also received a lot of apparatus that are being outfitted right now. Let me see if I got all this right. I know we've received 3 tractor-drawn aerial ladders. They're up at South Coast right now. Those are going to be going to Station 12, Station 20, and Station 29. We've also received 5 Type 1s that are they're already here and being outfitted, and those are going to go to Station 7, Station 11, 17, 18, and Station 45. We've got 3 brush apparatus that are being shipped out to us. We still haven't taken delivery, but we expect them in probably the next 30 days. Those are going to be those brush apparatus are going to go to Station 12, Station 40, and Station 44. So we are moving along and making sure that we stay on a healthy replacement schedule for our apparatus to make sure that you guys have all the best equipment to work off of. As far as next next year. I know we've got about a half a dozen Type 1 engines also already ordered. We know we got our Volterra engine apparatus that is coming, 4 more tractor-drawn aerials. We've got water tenders. We've got more brush apparatus. We've got a new bomb squad rig. And so, again, we are moving forward on all of those apparatus fleet. You know, similar to the question we get asked about the academies and why we're kind of moving forward on some tight budget years, you know, for us to turn off any of the orders that we have in fleet going forward, we would not see any of those savings until fiscal year 27. All of these apparatus that you see have been in the pipeline for quite some time, for at least 2 years. And so anything that we would be reactive to now because of some budget constraints, we will not see any savings, would not have any immediate savings for fiscal year 25 or 26. And so we really did not want to disrupt the replacement schedule right now and continue to move forward so we have the best apparatus out there for you guys to work off of. Our lifeguards, we just finalized the Toyota agreement, continuation of that great partnership that we have with Toyota, and so we'll continue to get replacement vehicles from them. On the fireboat, that's the new fireboat that we got funding from the state, $1.25 million that was given to us from the state specifically for a new fireboat. It's under the research and development right now, and then hopefully we'll be able to sole source that and move forward on that process as well. We know the design for the northern garage over there next to Fire Station 13 in La Jolla. We received $250,000 from the state so we can move forward on the design of the expansion of that facility. I will say that there's no funding identified right now to move forward on that project beyond the design, but at least we're getting it off the ground and get a design and feasibility study for that. And then on the air ops, we have finalized the contract with Bell for the new 412. That order has been placed. Remember, we entered into that contract with the proceeds that we got from selling off some of the parts from Copter 1. That was another one that we did not want to disrupt the supply chain or the ordering process for that. We will not be making any payments on the new copter until FY26, and so even to stop that contract or to postpone it would not save us any money for next fiscal year, which is really where everybody's concentrating on the savings for. And so we continued with that process, and the contract is moving forward for that new copter. Remember, as far as when we're talking about the savings that we're identifying for next fiscal year, there's a lot of optimism, and I share in that optimism about the sales tax measure that's going to be pushed forward on the ballot in November. And I think if we can get into FY25 and continue to at least maintain the service levels that we have right now, I think we'll be in a good place. And assuming that measure goes forward, we'll be able to again start to expand the services and really kind of open up the floodgates again as far as where we can start spending some money in growing this department. Quick update on facilities. As I mentioned, Station 52, that is actually opening up sooner than we expected. We were not expected to open up until July, but it looks like we may be taking occupancy either late May or early June. And so not only will we have to find a way to fund that in this fiscal year, but we've already been planning for that in our FY25 budget. And so that's great news on Station 52 right there on the UCSD campus. As far as Copley, we are still proceeding with the training center. There has not been any identified funding source for that large of a project right now beyond the feasibility studies and the phase 3 of the design for that project out there as well. Northern PB lifeguard tower, that's where our lifeguards are working out of that sea-tainer, really some unacceptable work environments for them. What we have been able to accomplish in the last couple of months have been able to identify those easements that those parcel owners have some kind of claim to that you cannot build on. The city is working with them right now and trying to receive authority to be able to purchase that part of the easement so we can proceed with that. And so again, at least it's moving along, and I know Councilmember LaCava, that's one of his #1 priorities as far as CIPs, but right now we still don't have any funding for that. And lastly, we are moving forward on the finishing up the design of Station 51, the permanent station. We have funding for that design, but again, that is a project that has no funding to move forward on the project identified right now, and hopefully in the next year or two they'll be able to identify that funding. Little update on EMS. I think we would all agree that the alliance model is still working well. We have seen unit hours kind of plateau and really been able to sustain the number of hours that we wanted out there. We have asked for an increase of hours just due to call volume. Increase of call volume that we've seen over the last few months, it's a good thing for our revenue, but also requires that we put additional unit hours out there at a cost to us as well. But again, I think if we look where we were a year ago, we are in a much better place on the EMS side. We do have an RFP going out for an EMS consultant. This consultant will work with us on the development of what the major RFP for the whole EMS system will look like probably in about 9 months from now. And so really it's an evaluation of where we're at today with the alliance model, how financially sustainable it is. Are we looking at a hybrid of maybe some city ambulances and some private ambulances, or to even maybe bring it all the way in-house for all city fleet and city employees on that side. Again, we don't have those answers right now. We really have not had a long enough period during the alliance model to evaluate that data, and so we really just do not have all that to be able to make that final decision. On the EMS front as well though, Paramedic Class 8 graduates on May 1st. And so we'll be on the USS Midway, recognizing their huge accomplishment. And then for all of you who expressed interest in Paramedic Class 9 that we had to unfortunately suspend, we are moving forward with Paramedic Class 9. That's going to start in August. I know that we had a healthy number of applicants showing interest when we originally put it out. And so I hope that interest continues, and I hope to see you guys all still apply for that next paramedic class. Just to keep you updated on the wellness contract and the RFP. We've had an RFP out for the new wellness contract for quite some time. That deadline is approaching, and so I expect that we're going to have multiple bids for that. We are looking at probably having to do an extension of the current contract. We originally thought we'd be in the new wellness center by July 1. We've had some permitting challenges and delays. We also have not been able to get on schedule for the tenant improvements, and so that's definitely going to move past July 1, and so we're going to have to look for a bridge of an extension to be able to provide those services if we can work that out, to at least get us probably till January. And so those are some of the things that we're working on. But I know that we've seen the architectural designs of the new wellness center, really how that layout's going to be, and it's going to be a phenomenal facility and really state of the art with all the great equipment. And so it's well worth the time, but it is just a little bit delayed right now. Catching up on a couple other small things out there. Engine 80, I've received nothing but great feedback on Engine 80, the peak hour engine that's out of Station 4. It's continuing to take some of that call volume burden off of the crew at Engine 4. We're really evaluating, is those peak hours, are they the best? What's the most effective way to have that 12-hour unit out there? And then maybe down the road, should we be considering it being a 24-hour engine on that side? Let's talk briefly on fiscal year 25's budget. And if you've paid any attention to the news articles, we know that the city is really looking at a structural deficit on the budgetary side moving into this next fiscal year, as well as possibly into part of FY26. We don't expect to get really any of our asks that we had in our fiscal year 25 requests unless they were cost recoverable, unless they were mandated by new regulations or law. Really, there was no way that we were going to get anything new and additional. The goal was really to maintain the service levels that we have in FY24 into FY25, and even that is going to be a cost. You can imagine all the contracts that we have citywide and department-wide. All of those have escalators. All of those are going to have increase in cost in next fiscal year. And so just in order to maintain the services that we have today is going to be an increase in cost. And that was our number one ask in the budget, is to at least maintain those contracts. We did have a couple of small other programs and items that we had in there. Pretty much for the most part, not only fire, but all departments were denied on most of their requests. So I really don't expect an enhancement to a lot of the things that we have out there until we get a better fiscal projections and outlook past the sales tax measure. As far as budget efficiencies, that's kind of the new buzzword instead of reductions. The budget efficiencies, all departments were expected to make proposals on what they would see for a 2% reduction to our operating budget. 2% for the fire department is just over $7 million that we had to put on the table as far as proposed reductions. My hope is certainly that they're not all going to be taken, but we were not afforded an opportunity to come in less than our target number, and so we have to imagine that that is going to cut into services. It's going to cut into some contracts. It's going to get cut into somewhat, maybe some would look at as non-discretionary and some discretionary expenditures out there as well. They were not easy decisions, and we met over and over and really tried to get stakeholder input on that. You can imagine, to reach $7 million is you just can't put out some supplies, dish soap, paper towels, office supplies, things like that. You're never going to get to $7 million. We really had to look at some core services that we had to make some reductions on. Again, I'm optimistic. I feel good that a lot of those, at least the ones that are going to impact operations, are not going to be accepted, and I'm thankful for that if that's the case. And so our hope is that we will not see it impact out there in operations too much. But there is no doubt that there's going to be some constraints and some challenges on the budget side next fiscal year. And not only next fiscal year, if you can probably imagine that even this fiscal year right now, we've even had some purchase requisitions and purchase orders have to freeze. The encumbrances of money that we were planning on spending on contracts has been frozen on our department. And we're constantly, almost on a weekly basis, having to try to free up credit areas that we can continue to buy essential supplies by eliminating some of the other contracts, or at least shrinking them down. It has been quite a challenge. It's going to be a challenge for the next 3 months to at least make sure that we are able to pay out all of our invoices that we have for the supplies that the goods and services that we've already received for that. On the good front, the San Diego Fire Foundation was able to secure a grant. We did a media event down on the San Diego River. The San Diego River Conservancy was able to give them a grant for the Mighty Fire Breaker. And I don't know if you saw any of the videos of that or the news coverages on that. Some portable equipment that you can pre-treat vegetation, you can pre-treat structures there. You can do it as you know a fire is advancing to that area, or you can just do it on a regular basis. We're going to work with the planning department to identify some of the high-risk areas where really we see the egress of people evacuating out of areas, probably start to pre-treat that. But I think the key on this, I mean, this kind of equipment has been around, but what's on the cutting edge of this one is the chemicals that are being used out there. They're eco-friendly. They're very environmentally sensitive for those areas, and so great addition. And really, we got it under a grant, so it didn't cost the department any money. And if we can be one of the first fire departments to have this out there and start to pre-treat these areas, we're really showing that we're not only concerned with our fire risk here, but we're concerned about the climate, and we understand that the city has a climate action plan, and so we want to be able to continue to support that. As far as events, I was out at the St. Patty's Day Parade on Saturday, March 16th. We had fantastic weather. Unlike last year when it was raining, I would say that we had probably over 100 firefighters in the parade with us. A really great turnout. The crowds were great, and so thank you everyone who came out and enjoyed that great day. The sports club is continuing to put out a lot of events, trying to continue to build our camaraderie, get our families together. They've got a lot of great deals for the Padre games. I hope to maybe see some of you guys out at the opening day at Petco that day. And so again, hats off to the sports club for really bringing everybody together. We had a 3-on-3 basketball tournament the other day. And so really, thank you very much for continuing that support. Okay, so the last thing I want to close out with, I know you all received my email announcing my planned retirement here coming up in August. This has been planned out for 5 years now as far as a date. My plan is to work to the very last day that I'm eligible. It has been a fantastic career, but as I mentioned in that email, that was no farewell email. I've still got 5 months here. We got a lot of work ahead of us. I hope to get out to as many stations as I can and see as many people as I can before I depart, but I really wanted to get my notice out in front of the recruitment that's going to come out from the city when they announce my job opening. And so it was important for me to have you hear it from me, get an email from me directly rather than hearing about it from some other way. But again, it has been such a blessed career. I feel very fortunate. It's not over yet. I look forward to the next 5 months, and I really hope to get out and see as many of you as I can before I depart. With that, I wish you health, safety, keep enjoying the best career that anyone could wish for, and I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Thank you.